Why don't we let the guest start? Danny, your pick of the week.
So I'm going to pick my own article that
Please
I did
do.
yesterday.
Nice.
It's your guide to Google Assistant and the Google Search app.
Oh.
And if you have a Google Android phone, if you have an Android phone, you're starting to get Google Assistant. And I've seen it finally roll out to my Galaxy S7 and one of my Moto Plays. So your phone, there you have it. But it's a big change. Probably the most dramatic change is going to be that if you're used to hitting the home button and then either speaking or typing your search, that's changed. Now all you can do is speak your search to the Google Assistant. And you may like that, or you might find it very awkward. Google Assistant is sometimes very useful at giving you answers, and then sometimes it's kind of a pain, especially if you try to do the tasks that it said it was going to do way back when, and it doesn't turn out to do some of that stuff as well. But it's definitely coming to your phone, and so if you're wondering what's happening with it, the guide is designed to explain to you where that's going, that's happening. And then I'm also kind of refreshing your memory about, well, what if you want to use the Google app? People may remember using Google Now. Google Now is not part of the Google Assistant. You actually have to have the Google app separately, either on iPhone or an Android to get it. And, oh, by the way, it's not called Google Now anymore. It's just called predictive search card things.
Oh, that's terrible.
But I know.
I hate them. I hate them so much.
The thing that Google had that they used to call Google Now on Tap, that screen search, that still exists, and it still exists even if you have Google Assistant. In the past, you used to be able on any screen, you could hold down the home button and it would tell you things related to what you were looking at. You can still do that with Google Assistant. It just kind of involves a little bit of activating it and then swiping up. It can be a little tricky, and just a few other things in terms of how you can do your searching. It's like basically all ways to search using Google on either the Android or the iPhone in this new world of the Google Assistant being out there.
I actually love the Google Assistant, and I only had it on the Pixel, and that, to me, if you're going to get an Android phone, you want to make sure it's one that supports Google Assistant. As Google's basically said, though, it's going to be, if you can get Nougat, you're going to have Assistant, right? Eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great. I mean, I was really pleased when I opened up this HTC Ultra, and it was there. I was like, yay. Very happy. So how do you do Now on Tap? Because it's the same thing, pressing and holding the home button.
If you hold the home button, and then after Google Assistant launches, you got to swipe up on the Assistant itself.
It's crazy. I don't even.
It's a little bit complicated.
Yeah. No one uses Now on Tap, so that's the.
No, you're not going to use it anyway, so you're not going to worry about it.
Never. The only time I've ever seen it is because I accidentally held the button too long. It's the only time I ever see it.
I think the biggest shift really will be for people who are used to holding the home button as a way of activating search, and they would type. You just can't do that anymore. And figuring out with the Google Now cards. That's the hardest thing for me is like you got the Google Assistant, but then you got Google Now, and they're like in two separate areas, and I kind of like them when they were united in the Google Search app, but I imagine at some point the Google Search app itself will get more Google Assistant-like.
Yeah, what I just did is I put a Google button on my front page, which launches the Now cards. Or if you use the Pixel launcher, you could swipe left, and the Now cards are still there. Yeah, I just don't use the Pixel launcher.
Oh, you guys, this is stressing me out.
Oh.
Stress?
What kind of phone do you use, Stacey?
I have the Nexus 5X.
Oh, that's right. You have an old one.
We have this conversation
every time. I know. Well, everybody has a different phone, and I should have a database of who has what, but that would be normal people.
And you should keep it in your head.
In normal people call my mind, but I have no mind, so I don't know.